Have you ever been afraid of the dark? What monster comes to mind when you think this is the ultimate terror? Well, this is David, and welcome to the Scary Story Spectacular, where today we look at the craziest, scariest monster of all of movie, in my opinion. Ha 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 ha! Welcome! Lightning! Ah! Pow, pow. Yes! So we are going to be looking at Aliens. This is the original years, volume 1. So this is the stories that I picked for this one because to me, Aliens is the ultimate movie monster. Bar none, no contest, personal opinion, of course. This monster is so clinical in its and deadly that it has no remorse. There's no bargaining with it. It's the ultimate alien monster. I think it's the not only the scariest, but the most far-reaching. Of course, this is your man's humble opinion. So I definitely would say that this qualifies as a scary story. We're going to be looking at the first chapter of this book. So let me just show you this book first. Very nice. So let's go ahead and jump into the story, and you let me know what you think. Okay, guys. So now we are looking at Aliens, the original years. We do have, this is volume 1. There's a volume 2 that we do have available. But I'm going to just jump right into the first chapter as well. Now, I think Aliens is the best horror monster to come out of any sort of film of all time. I consider it the one that's, not only is it so creepy, but it has lasted for so long. It expanded into different universes, like the Predator universe that they intertwined. This has gone into comics. It's been in DC. It's been in Marvel. It's been with independent like Spawn and Judge Dredd. So it's the reaches of the fingers of Aliens have been so far and so wide that I think this qualifies as probably the best movie monster of all time. Arguably, but that's my opinion. But let's jump into it. So basically, you see the alien here, and it says, it's basically the creation of the aliens. And you see here how basically they came from this hive. And you know what? This one is really short, so I'm just going to read it to you, just as a nice story. Excerpts from the confidential paper Theory of Alien Propagation by Dr. Waisa Orana, civilian advisor to the Colonial Marine Corps. Humans suffer from peculiarly self-centered notions as to the nature of life. We assume out of hand that others' life forms must somehow conform to our comfortable standards of logic, morality. This, of course, is absurd. Our human morality is a thin tissue of arbitrary principle, easily ignored when expedient. Why should we expect more from alien life forms than we expect from ourselves? As a matter of practical fact, much of what we presume to know about the alien life form is conjecture. However, amidst the theory, there are two absolute and equivocal facts. They are not like us. We will never truly understand them. Judging from the aliens' dense exoskeleton and remarkable adaptability, we must assume their homeworld to be a harsh, desolate environment. So you kind of see the homeworld there. We know from the encounters on Acheron that the aliens have a queen-based hierarchy. We also know they form hives to protect their young. At some point, perhaps cyclical, the hive's queen must sense the instinctive need to propagate new colonies and lay eggs that will later hatch as queen larvae. Given aliens' legendary temperament, it's likely that these special breeding eggs are quickly removed from the queen's chambers and sheltered elsewhere. At the proper times, the drones provide host bodies for the fledgling queen. For many in the research community, this parasitic breeding process is the single most disturbing aspect of the entire alien phenomenon. Of course, for the aliens, it is completely natural, their equivalent of giving a bottle to a baby. The actual incubation period is relatively short, a matter of days or even hours. Birth is an ordeal of pain and violence. As a fledgling queen emerges, there may well be a battle for dominance. Imagine a species where the first conscious act of life is killing. Even so, I hesitate to imply any sort of Darwinian connotation to these struggles. Killing me may merely be a way for the newborn queen to define its own reality. Soon the new queen would lead a contingent of drones away from the old hive. The drones are the queen's slaves, and there would be nothing more important than the construction of the new hive. If natural building materials were unavailable, perhaps other elements would be suitable, and you can see that they're kind of killing each other. One would not describe this as cannibalism as much as remarkably ruthless practicality. The nesting instinct is a powerful one. Early on, all efforts would be concentrated on completing the hive. The aliens would not think in terms of sacrifice. The hive is all. To assume death it has meaning to these creatures is to deny their greatest power. All ecosystems exist in a delicate state of balance. This would be as true of the aliens' homeworld as our own. At home, the aliens would have any number of natural enemies. Some would live, some would die, and the alien herd would be kept in check. The bodies of the dead would be used to reinforce walls of the hive. The cycle would continue. The ecosystems would survive. So you can see they did have natural predators there in their homeworld. The violent, uncontrollable alien infestations occurred when the creatures were removed from their natural habitat. We only guess how this might have happened. Perhaps it was millions of years ago, perhaps only decades. The end result is all that matters. Somehow the aliens were transplanted to other worlds. The creatures would not be concerned with the particulars of their environment. They would concern themselves only with circumstances. The natural predators were gone. The balance was gone. All that was left was prey. Of course, you can see that there. We humans believe our technology has made us invincible, that we've evolved beyond the simple notion of predator and prey. Certainly there was no reason for the crew of the Nostromo or the Sulaco or the settlers on Acheron to believe otherwise. Man has never been comfortable in space. Even with our ships and atmosphere suits and weapons, we are intruders. A host environment, ample quarry, the aliens must have felt utterly at home. Humans have confused comfort with survival. For us, mere existence isn't enough. We demand the accoutrements of life as well. The aliens make no such demands. They live in a very simple world. They live to kill. They live to breathe. And finally, they survive. So basically, that's the first excerpt, or the first little chapter from the Aliens omnibus, before it jumps into the story. And I really like it because it kind of gives you a little bit of the history of aliens from their home world, and just kind of, from a scientific point, the basis of this alien life form, which is, they're not malicious in the sense that they want to kill people. They're just doing it because that's just naturally what comes to them. So, for example, serial killers, or in like horror movies, the killers are out to kill kids, or they're out to kill whatever for, psychological reasons or for pleasure and all that. No, aliens come down to a simple fact. They are there to survive. They are basically getting food and to eliminating any sort of threat to their, eggs, for example. So I think that's what makes aliens such a great monster, because it's that detachment from any sort of purpose for their killings. It's basically just survival of the fittest, and they are able to do that with their, their acid, their, the tongue, or the mouth, the extra mouth, their snake tail. So I've always, this creature has always freaked me out, because there's no way to reason with them. You can't be like, oh, please don't kill me, I'll find you better. No, there's none of that. They are ruthless, efficient killers. And like I said, they have expanded into so many different universes because they are such a good character creation. I think they qualify, like I said, to me, the best monster from any sort of franchise that has expanded to so many different other franchises, because they're so impactful with just the way they look, the way they act, and that to me makes them one of the scariest as well monsters of all. And I think they would be great for any sort of Halloween event. So that's why I picked this one. This was, to me, is considered a horror story just because it's aliens and they're freaky, and I think they're the coolest of all. So this one is Aliens. This is from the Aliens, the Original Years, Volume 1. We do have this available. We have Volume 2 as well. So check it out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this scary story. Spectacular from Organic Price Books. And I'll see you in the next one. Ooh.